Greetings, soul family. This is Amenti, the Awakener Amenti, the Oracle, joining you live and direct from planet Earth. And I'm just popping in, checking in to see how you all are doing. There's a lot going on, and the world is waking up. And I just wanted to check in and see how everyone is doing, and also share a reading that Spirit has guided me to share for the collective. So wherever you are in the world, I just want to say greetings. I want to send you wishes of peace. I hope that you are utilizing this time and this experience to prepare for the future ahead, to free your mind, your body, and your spirit from all limitations and restrictions, and really take this time to plan, and focus on the reality that it is that you want to create moving forward, because this is a time of great change. Give thanks, Sienna. I'm seeing your likes there and sending you much love of the highest vibration. And it's not an easy transitioning point that we're going through. I know for me personally, when this journey first started, I was not pushed, I was of change, because my spirit showed me that this is a time of liberation. This is the time that we have been waiting for. It's the time of transition. It's the time of releasing of the old in order to bring forth the new. And in order for that to happen, we have to walk through the valley of the shadow of death, right? Because death is what is the tool for transformation. Death is what allows us to move from one stage to another. Greetings, Duvon. And so we've had to go through a death on many levels. Death of the ego, death of in one level, sometimes death of our freedom, but it's really about death of the false identity, death of the illusion that says that others are in control of our reality and that we are powerless. These are the things that have to die in order for us to step into our true self-sovereignty, into our true power. What we forget is that this time has been written. What we have forgotten is that everything that we have been through has been preparing us for this time. And so as much as many people are losing their heads outside, we're being called to go inside. We're being called to sit with ourselves, assess who we really are. What do we value? What's of importance to us? Greetings, Akka. Good day to you. What's important to us? What is it that we value? Where do we place our value? Our value was placed before on wealth, on things like oil, and things like money and commodity. But we understand now that the real value is in health. Like, the real wealth is in health and peace of mind, peace of body, peace of spirit. And so spirit, when I've been communing with the creator over this period, it's been all about liberation. That's the message that I've been getting from the source, from the creator, to liberate yourself. What comes to mind is when Bob Marley said, emancipate yourself from mental slavery. None but ourselves can free our minds. And that takes a responsibility to act. It takes it takes a choice to be willing to see beyond the illusion. It takes a choice to be willing to, no longer just accept what you're experiencing and being fed like an animal. It's making the choice to now see that things need to change. And in order for things to change, you need to change. We need to change, because we've given over our control and our power and have become so complacent and so comfortable with living in a realm of dependency, not having to think for ourselves, not having to do for ourselves, and constantly being giving handouts. We're being encouraged to learn how to stand in our power. We're being encouraged to learn how to tap into our inner talents, gifts, and assets, and utilize that to create our wealth. We understand now the power of the mind. We understand now the power and destructive force of fear, and we understand now that when we transform fear into love, that is the most powerful force. We understand now that in order for us to experience a change in our reality, we have to be willing to unshackle the mind from the chains in which it has had imposed on it. We're understanding that things are not as they seem, and that the truth is much stranger than fiction. And one of the things I've been learning is that in order to defeat the enemy outside, you must defeat the enemy within. And the reason for that is because once you defeat the enemy within, once you traverse your own shadow, once you get connected with your own fears, you realize that there is no enemy outside. You realize that everything is about polarity. Everything is about contrast. Everything is about resistance. Resistance creates growth and experience, but there is no enemy outside of you. Greetings, Leslie. There is no enemy outside of you. And we also are learning about the value, the sanctity of human life. We're also acknowledging that we're all connected and that the rules that have been created to dominate us do not exclude us, that we are not excluded from, ill health. We're not excluded from death. We're not excluded from any part of this human story. Greetings, Tina, all the way from Egypt, my favorite place on the planet. Look, I'm protected by the ancestors, so I'm giving thanks. Thank you for joining us. Yeah, so it's been a challenging time as well, especially for me as well. I spent 2 weeks in the light, which was in my joy, in my happiness, in my vibration of peace and sharing and giving. And then I had to go into myself. I was called to retreat into myself. I was called to go and traverse my own darkness. And, what was coming to mind was when I was shining my light, I was the lighthouse. That was the message that I was getting from Source, to shine the light, be the light, and remind people that there is a great change that's taking place. Don't allow your consciousness to be directed into the arena of fear. Understand that this is something that's being gifted to you, whether you can see it or not. That was the message that I was being encouraged to push out at first. And then I was told to retreat. I was told to retreat within myself. I had gone from being the lighthouse to now being the hermit. I was encouraged to go within myself. Because one thing we don't understand about the hermit is the hermit spends time alone and in isolation to master the inner world, to master the voices within, to master their inner strength, their power. Wisdom comes when you spend time in meditation, contemplating. In the stillness, that's where you learn, that's where you gain the wisdom, that's where you connect with your soul. And so the hermit aspect was encouraging me to go within, because whenever there is something that's happening, we're always trying to project our energy outside. But you need to defeat the demons within in order to be able to even move forward. You need to be able to understand your strengths, understand your weaknesses in order to be able to move forward and make changes in your life and in your reality. And for me, that set me on a spiral of going into my own shadow. Looking at things towards my childhood that were stopping me from stepping into my power, things that were stopping me from really being able to see myself as I truly am. Sometimes we can be immobilized from the shackles that are placed on the mind and the heart, which in the present stop us from being able to move and to act. Greetings, Chris, sending love to you as well. Our stories that we hold, our limitations, our expectations or projections of how we think people see us, or, the shame that we carry around about our own journey, our own story, they all shackle our mind and shackle our heart, and then shackle our feet from doing the right thing, from living in truth, from walking our path, from being confident enough to say, enough is enough, or confident enough to say that I am enough to create the life that I know I deserve, right? And so when we go into the shadow, when we confront our own darkness, when we sit with our own pain, we kind of start weeding out all of the things inside that are hindering us from being our true soul light, and from living on purpose. And so I had to go inside and do some healing. I had to go inside and do some reflecting and some weeding of the aspects of me that no longer served me. And it wasn't always easy. Sometimes it's painful. It can be difficult to communicate through crisis. And that was one of the things that I was learning. I was learning how to communicate through crisis. And that doesn't always mean that you're telling everybody what's going on with you, but it means creating an outlet for you to be able to communicate with your shadow, communicate with your ego, to strengthen your weaknesses and really get an understanding of who you are inside. Because those self-sabotaging ways, those old experiences leave imprints on your consciousness, and you bring them continuously into the now with your thoughts, your behaviors, and your actions. Have you ever felt like you're on a repetitive loop, always trying to get further ahead, but you find that the same things are holding you back? Those are those inner saboteurs. Those are those inner shadows that we have to really get to grips with, because once we defeat the shadows, the demons within, our shadow holds our power. Okay, our shadow holds our power. It gives us the confidence to stand up and do what's right, regardless of the consequences, right? But we have been deprogrammed against that. We've been deprogrammed against even trusting in our own self, trusting in our own guidance, trusting in our own wisdom and our own power to be able to manifest and do what it is that we need to do. You know, we are living in a society which is pushing us towards learning to stand in our power. It's pushing us towards self-sovereignty. It's pushing us towards taking responsibility. But so many of us are immobilized by fear. We are mentally shackled, emotionally shackled, and our feet do not move. So even though you're in a prison and someone's opening the door and saying to you, hey, you can be free, all you got to do is walk through, the fear in the mind, the heart, and the shackles on the feet will stop you from being able to move forward. It will create a cognitive dissonance within you, where even if you're being shown the truth, you will find comfort in deception. You'll find the comfort in the lies. And so that is why we have to do the shadow work, so that we're constantly getting in touch with the truth, that we're not allowing our human experience to weigh us down, so that our soul is not able to be free and our soul is not able to liberate us. You know, and that's the vibration that I've been working through, communicating through my own crisis, learning to speak through the challenges that I'm going through. Because when you communicate your challenges, it gives you a transference of energy. A lot of the times we can get confused because a lot of the thoughts, the words, the conversation is happening in here, and it's the excuses are happening here, the wisdom is happening in here, everything's happening in here, and it can become difficult to really make the changes and see the truth. Thank you, Amara. Blue, the color of peace, and my throat chakra, because it is awakening, right? We immobilize ourselves through fear, and so the only way that we can bring change is through death of things that no longer serve us. And death takes place in darkness. It takes place within. And so we have to take that journey within. And so that's what I've been doing. I've been learning how to clear out what no longer serves me by really reflecting on the lessons that I need to gain from those experiences. Even things that I feel like I judge myself for, I had to really look at it from a different perspective and think about it in a way, rather than judging myself, what can I learn from those experiences? Because everything in your life, everything you've ever been through is working for you and preparing you for that which is to come. All right. Everything that you have been through in your life is preparing you for that which you are to become, and also preparing you for everything that you desire, everything that you want. Right. When you fight your own demons, you learn to have no fear. And so when you're able to fight the demons within, you can fight against the injustices without. When you become clear on what it is that you want in your life, what it is that you need, what it is that you require, you no longer fear the obstacles. You realize that obstacles are all opportunities, and that everything, when you ask for something, everything that you do not have, will be given unto you through experience, okay, to bring you in alignment with that which you want. And so we have to be going through this process of transformation that takes place within, so that we can radiate that power and manifest our visions in the external world, right? In our external reality. So for me, it's really been about going inside and confronting my inner shadows and getting to grips with myself, and also untethering my mind, because the mind and the ego are always trying to control your reality. But right now we have to move into the heart that feels, so that we can be guided to the right information, so that we can be guided towards the truth. And so the shadow work is very integral. And this week we have the full moon in Scorpio coming. Scorpio is all about death and rebirth. Scorpio is all about what's hidden, about shining light on what's hidden. It's all about transformation, okay? And so the opposite of Scorpio is Taurus. We are in the time of Taurus. Taurus is about wealth. Taurus is about knowing your power. Taurus is about being grounded in your power. Taurus is governed by Venus. Venus is the brightest star in the sky. Venus is your soul light. Venus is all about abundance and beauty and art. Art is the tonic of the heart. Art is how we express what's in the heart. And so this week is encouraging us to not be afraid to go into our shadows, because in order to gain our light, to empower our light, we need to go into our shadows. We need to pull out the weeds. We need to be real about our anger. We need to be real about our pain. We need to fortify ourselves from within, right? And that comes from meeting your demons face to face. It comes from being honest about where you are and where you want to go, so you know what it is that you need to do in order to get there, right? Greetings, Caroline, feeling the love. Hope you're well. And so the shadow work that I've been doing has been preparing me now to come into a space where I can come out, where I can share the knowledge, where I can use my experience to empower and inspire others to make those changes. And that is the journey of the awakener. That is the journey of the oracle. That is the journey of the avatar. That is the journey of the guru. Not to sit here and act as if, you know, I am the radiance and that the lesson has already been won. The guru is one who is learning, and through their learning, they're sharing. So we are all, you know, we all have a divine aspect. We all have a divine aspect of us which has already lived this, has already experienced this. And in order for us to start trusting in that voice, we have to start weeding out the limiting beliefs. We have to start weeding out the saboteurs within. We have to start releasing ourselves from traumatic experiences and detaching from stories that we tell ourselves or that the world has told us about who we are and what it is that we can achieve. Okay, and so it starts from within. So this Thursday, I will be holding Sacred Space and doing a private online gathering, which will help us to do the work that's needed to release the shadow, to work on the shadow aspects of ourselves so that we can make way for our light. Because in June 2020, on the 21st of June, we are going to have the solstice, and the solstice is about the soul stillness. It's about bringing in your soul light, but it's going to be with a powerful eclipse. And an eclipse is about a portal. An eclipse is about oneness, harmony, bringing the two opposing forces together and finding the resolute truth, the way forward. It's an opportunity for elevation. It's an opportunity for bringing out our soul's light. So in order for us to move into that space, we have to do the work. We have to understand that everything that we are going through is working in divine plan and divine order. There is no need to rush. As the earth is awakening, we are awakening. And as we are awakening, we're gifted with the opportunity to relearn and remember all of the things that we need in order to be able to support our awakening, so that we can live in truth, okay, and we can live on purpose. So everything that's going to be happening over this year is about preparing us to step into our roles, our roles and our destiny for this next cycle. Spirit has been calling this next 10 years, this decade, the generation of liberation. This is the time to liberate ourselves mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, so that we can live, our life in our truest sense and from our highest perspective and ordeal. This is not a fluke. This is not me just trying to speak words into reality. The time that we are in right now, we are moving into the golden age. So whether you like it or not, there is going to be an age of prosperity, of abundance, of success, of everyone working in harmony. That is going to be what's going to happen. What you're here to define is what part in that you're going to play in the establishment of that, because many of us are not going to be here to experience the fullness, but each one of us has an opportunity to be a part of the shift, and we have a part to play now. Okay, so everything that's happening is about shifting us into this space, into this new reality. And a lot of what we're seeing is going to play out till around 2032, because that's when the age of Aquarius is fully established in our collective consciousness and on this planet. So this gathering that I'm going to be hosting on Thursday will be an opportunity for those who have been going through some challenges, those who have been finding it difficult to cope with this lockdown. It's brought up certain things about them, to have a sacred space where we can do the work to alchemize that energy and reclaim your power from your shadow. All right, it's time for us to step into our light. It's time for us to be the who's that we came here to be. It's time for us to honor the authenticity of our own soul and what it is that we are endowed to do in our purpose. Caroline says, I've been writing a song along those lines. It's a frequency. We're all tapping into the liberation frequency. And You know, it's etched within all of our beings. We all knew that we were going to come here and be here at this time. And although we were in a state of amnesia, hidden in our DNA is everything that we need to be what it is that we came to be on this journey. And we are here to transfer and transform that energy into our light and into the energy that's going to fuel us into our destiny. We have to be willing to stand up for something. We have to be willing to stand up for something. We have to be willing to stand up for truth. Vidina says, do you have a site where we can find your services? I do. At the moment, my website, I'm rejigging it so that I can serve in a better way. But send me a DM and I'll send you the link to my bookings, and we can talk about how I can support you. How much is it for counseling and mentoring? At the moment, I'm working with people's vibrations. So let's have a conversation, look at what you need, and then we can see how we can move forward. And that's for anybody that wants to speak about anything, or if anyone wants some guidance, counseling, mentoring. Over the week, I'm going to be sharing more information about the space in which Spirit is moving me into and where I can be more of service. But today I just really wanted to share from my soul, because we're all going through this journey and we're all going through this experience, and each one of our experiences, each one of our truth is valid. It's a part of the puzzle. It's a part of the whole mission. And so I wanted to come on and share. I'm also fasting at the moment for Ramadan, and it's something that I do every year, because when I first started getting into my spiritual, my real spiritual growth, development and initiation, one of my spiritual teachers was also practiced the Islam faith, the Muslim faith, because it was part of his lineage, and it was also part of my lineage as well. I have Sufism in my family lineage, and many of us are connected to these indigenous practices, these religions, these cultures, because it's in our blood. It is in who we are. We are the land, and the land is multiversed, right, in terms of how we communicate with the Creator. But it was funny because I didn't actually realize it was Ramadan until my body told me. I was going through days where I wasn't eating during the day. I just wanted to drink water. I'm drinking frankincense water at the moment as well, because I find that it clears my mind. It's purifying the cells in my body. It's just making me feel more alive and more electric. But my body was already programming me and letting me know that it was time to release from the indulgence of feeding and allow myself, my spirit to be fed. Because when you stop eating food, or when you become conscious of the food that you're eating and you take a rest from that, what you then do is cultivate the spirit. You're feeding the spirit. So I feed my spirit through prayer, through fasting, through meditation, through reflection, through being conscious in every moment, through being a channel, just writing my thoughts and my feelings. I'm praying, every 3 hours. So I'm praying for people. I'm praying for myself. If you do require me to have you, for me to have you in my prayers, if there's a prayer that you want to say for me to say for you, just send me a message. Just put your name in the comment below and I will send prayers. And this is a beautiful time, because the reason why I love Ramadan time is because collectively on the planet there are hundreds and thousands of people who are praying towards the same aim. They are holding space. And the reason why, my understanding and what Spirit showed me, the reason why we pray every 3 hours is because that is when the changing over of the guards happens in the heavens. There's a different angel that governs a different time of the day, and so when we pray at those different times of the day, our name is counted in the heavens, our name is written in the book, and the angels know our voice, the angels know our spirit, and so they know that we are there, and then they will hear our prayers. They will hear the prayers of us, and they will hear the prayers that we have for others and answer those prayers, because we have been counted. And so that's what Spirit showed me when I first started engaging in this. So I was like, okay, it's something that I know that I love to do. I am spiritual by nature. I am a spirit having a human experience. And in the other times that I've incarnated on this planet, I have been in positions of leadership. I have been in positions of spiritual power. And so spirituality gives me an anchor towards my higher self and to my soul. And so at this particular time of Ramadan, I enjoy being able to strip away, the ego, and strip away all of the material wants and desires, and allow myself to be pious, allow myself to be in a space of receptivity, in a space of prayer and being held. You fortify yourself and you learn about trust when you are in a space of prayer and fasting. And so that's also allowed me to clean up some of my shadow, clean up some of my insecurities, and actually fill myself with the spiritual food that comes from aligning yourself with your soul aspect. So I've been enjoying that, and there's been a lot of channeling that's been coming through. There's been a lot of information and insight that's been coming through, and I'm working on a few different projects, different ways that I can help prepare you to liberate your mind and to prepare you for this awakening. This awakening is taking place all over the planet, and Africa is without she is also waking up in this journey that we're in. And so the minds of our people are waking up, and we are waking up our hearts to a greater cause. And so taking the time in this now to plan, what is it that you want your future to be like? What is it that you feel like you're here to do? What is your exit strategy from this lockdown period? Because this, crisis brings creativity. And so, yes, there may be many whose lives will be destroyed from this, and they seem like their lives are being destroyed from this crisis. But there are many people who will, open up new doors. There are many people that will tap into new wealth. There are many people that will create vehicles that are going to help project humanity and carry other people to the promised land. So you have to decide where it is that you're going to be in that. Greetings, Emanuela, sending you so much love. Greetings, Natalie, and thank you, Aka says keep your light shining bright. I appreciate that. Yeah, this is about crisis brings opportunity. And so you have to look at what opportunities are available to you in this now. You can look at it like your glass is half full and say, you know what, I can't work anymore, or I'm not earning as much as I should. Or you can look at it as a way of an opportunity. What other skills do I have that I'm not utilizing? What skills can I learn at this time? How can I create a new source of income? Because everything is around moving away from dependency, right? We have to move away from dependency and into sovereignty. And sometimes that takes weaning off of the breast of the mother so that you can now start activating your inner principles, your inner power, your inner ability to survive, right? And to move beyond surviving into thriving. So, in this time, I'm encouraging you all to utilize this time. Spend time nurturing your mind, body, and spirit. Spend time strengthening your family and your connections and links with people. But also think about wealth, wellness, wisdom. Think about how you're going to move forward. What projection or what reality do you want to create for yourself outside of this experience? Because there will be a calm. There will be a moment where it will seem as if things are going back to normal. Just so that you can allow yourself to go back to sleep. And once you are back asleep, that's when the real show will be projected out. The real controls will come in, and they will only affect you if you allow yourself to be controlled. If you didn't take the heeding, if you didn't take the warning and didn't make the choice to liberate yourself. So this is the time of liberation. It's the time of action, and it's the time of preparation. I've been focusing on expanding my my circle, thinking about where it is that I want to go, and being around people that want to go in that same direction, or who are already doing the things that I want to do. I understand that I have a personal mission and I have a collective mission, but I need resources, and those resources are within and without. Sometimes what makes us think our visions are too big is the fact that we haven't broken them down into the small pieces so that we can understand how to put the plan together. I'm building a team of people around me that I also can bring to people like you, people who are going to be in my initiate circle, in my membership circle, because it's all about building together. But you have to build in a way which creates trust. You have to build in a way which has infrastructure. You have to build in a way which has a collective agenda. And so in order to do that, you have to ensure that everybody that is involved is focused on the mission of first healing and rebalancing and mastering themselves so that they can have something to bring to the pot. We have to get rid of this mentality of dependency, and it starts from within. So I'm building a team of people who are bosses in their professions, in their fields, so that we can present this information to those who may need awakening, that need to expand their consciousness, that know that there is change, that know that they want to do something different, but they don't know the way, right? And also I'm making sure I get my house in order, because I want to be coming from a place of authenticity, and I am coming from a place of integrity. The changes that I want to see happen for other people are the same changes that I want to see for myself. And so I have to be willing to make those changes myself. I have to be willing to come out of my comfort zone. I have to be willing to be vulnerable. I have to be willing to communicate through my chaos and my crisis. I have to be willing to depend on those around me and trust enough in those around me to support me and help me me when I'm down. These are the things that we need, the qualities that we need moving forward. And we have to be the change that we want to see in order for that to happen. So working on self is where it starts, because once you work on self, then you can radiate that light and be that living example. All right. I put a post up the other day which says the honorable man is not the man who does no wrong. The honorable man is the man who's able to learn from his mistakes, admit his mistakes, and transform them into changed actions and changed behaviors, right? So it's not about how many times you fail. It's not about how many times you've messed up. It's not about how many times you might have hurt somebody in your ignorance, right? You have to forgive yourself for that. You have to forgive yourself, learn from the experience, and be the change in your experience through through changed behavior. And so we have to disconnect from the past perception of ourselves, but in a healthy way, a way that informs us and empowers us to be greater, because everything in your reality is preparing you and reminding you of who you are. And everything that it is that you want to achieve, the obstacles will come to show you exactly what is required for you to learn in order for you to reach those goals and achieve what it is that you want to achieve. So, I mean, I just wanted to come and share a little bit of what is going on in my world and what it is that Spirit wanted me to share with you. I also did a reading before as well, just to check what it is that I need to share with the collective today. And I also channeled a prose or a poem or whatever you want to call it last night. And so I'm going to read that to you as well. My radio shows have started again on Omega FM Radio 104.1 in the UK, live on the FM dial, or omegafmradio.co.uk online. And so I will be doing my radio show tomorrow, where I'll be talking a little bit more about this generation of liberation, how we can start, stepping into wealth. But before we can even start stepping into those spaces, we have to start decolonizing and unshackling the mind and seeing the change and being the change that we want to be. And so, yes, I hope to see you on my show tomorrow from 11 till 1. And yeah, if you have any questions, if you want to add to the topic of discussion, or if there's anything you want me to talk about, then please do send me a message. But I wanted to read to you the cards that came up today when I asked Spirit, what is it that we need to know right now? What is it that we need to be focusing on? So the first card that came up was charity, prayer and contemplation. And why this was on point for me when I saw it was, as I said to you, the world is in prayer right now. The world is in prayer. The Muslim brothers and sisters are in prayer, and we're praying for change. We're praying for peace. We're praying for for whatever's meant to happen to take place. Because, don't forget, nature. Part of nature is destruction. Part of nature is chaos. And that's what brings order. So we're not praying against what's happening. We're praying that everything happens within the divine order, within the highest good for everyone. And prayer is a way of connecting with heaven, and what you ask for, you shall receive. So we're being encouraged to be grateful. We're being encouraged to be mindful. We're encouraged to be prayerful and understand that there is a powerful force outside of us that is in control of all of this. And so once we align ourselves with that vibration, there is nothing to fear. The heart doesn't know fear. The heart only knows what is right. It only does what is right. It doesn't fear consequence. It only knows what is right. So follow your heart and tap into prayer, because prayer releases fear and allows us to tap into the part of us that knows. And so the affirmation or the guidance for that was connect with heaven and ask, and you shall receive. Sorry, I'm being very relaxed right now because I'm just feeling relaxed. So I'm just going to allow myself to be that which I am in this moment. So the next card that came up was the Divine Director, intervention and purpose. This is happening for a reason. And I was dreaming a lot last week. I was dreaming of this wind just blowing away all negativity, blowing away all dead leaves, blowing away all that no longer served us. And so that's exactly what's happening. But we have to know that there is a divine intervention. So as much as it's fearful, as much as the tell lie vision is propagating the story and putting you into a space of fear, the revolution will not be televised. It will be live. Okay, and you have to know that there is a powerful force working here, and it's that powerful force that is in control. So the guidance from that was that divine intervention is occurring. Know that you are being guided and happiness is your purpose. And there are a lot of things that you do not know that's taking place right now. There are a lot of organizations and operations which have been fighting to bring truth and to bring destabilization and destruction of this false monarchy, this false rule that we have been under. So even though you cannot see what's happening, even though you may not know what's happening, there are things that are happening to ensure our victory. All you have to do is your part. All you have to do is be willing to move and be willing to walk. The next card that came up was forgiveness. And this is connected to Master Jesus, according to this card. And what I thought was beautiful about this card is that we do have a lot of resistance and fear about the system, right? We fear the system. We hate the system. We're like, look what Babylon has done to us, without understanding that all of this is part of divine law, divine order, divine plan. There is no enemy outside of you. And if you focus on an enemy, what you do is you lower your vibration and you burden your heart, right? With resentment, with anger, with guilt, with shame, with fear. And so when your heart is heavy, you cannot tune into the higher consciousness. You cannot be light as the feather. You cannot tune into the truth. And so you're being encouraged to have forgiveness. Like, do not take on this illusion of an enemy. Do not take on an illusion of patriarchy and all these things. We're here to learn. Everything is gifting us with experience, right? Everything is gifting us with experience. So if you can free yourself from the attachment of blame, of judgment, of all of these kind of things, and just put yourself into a space of perpetual forgiveness, then that will allow you to live from the heart and see everything as clearly as day for what it really is, because everyone is just playing a part. This is the Matrix, right? We're all just playing our part in this story. So allow yourself to be in a space of perpetual forgiveness and allow your heart to be in a space of engaged detachment. That means that you're present, but you're not attached to the outcome of the story. Don't allow yourself to be triggered by the tell-lie vision. Don't allow yourself to be triggered by the false insecurities of others. Find peace and forgiveness in your own heart. This is also important because this represents the womb, it represents the portal, it represents the gateway. The heart is a gateway. I told you the eclipses, when they come together, when two circles come together, you find in the middle that same symbol, that same yoni, that same portal. So forgiveness is the portal towards the heart. Forgiveness is the portal towards light, right? And so this energy of Jesus is bringing in the message of forgiveness. And it says you are on the path of light, love, and forgiveness. When you understand duality as well, you understand that there is no good or bad, no yin, no yang. You realize that everything is always working towards the one goal anyway. So there is no need for, things like hate or separation. You understand that everything is working in one harmony, in one harmonic order. And so the next part of this card says father healing is possible at this time. So I asked myself, well, what does that represent? And that father healing represents that patriarchal energy. It's about understanding where our masculine energy has been misplaced and it has become out of balance because it hasn't been balanced by the divine feminine. The divine feminine is compassion, it's healing, it's understanding, it's inner wisdom, it's the subconscious. And the masculine is the creation, the organizations, the structures, the establishments. But when you have order, when you have an organization and an establishment and a structure without heart, without consciousness, then it implodes on itself. And that's what we're seeing right now happening in this reality. We have been living in a reality without heart, without consciousness, without compassion, without feminine energy, without love. And so I believe that that's what it speaks of when it says that father healing is possible at this time. We can heal that masculine that has come out of balance, that masculine energy that has come out of balance, and we can balance it with love. We can balance it with compassion. We can balance it with understanding. Okay? So the next cards that came out, because they all came flying at me, the next card that came out was I think it was Gaia card, and the Gaia card is connected to the earth. So she's saying, be aware of your connection to earth. Your emotions have an effect on the planet. The way that we think has an effect on the planet. Our vibration has an effect on the planet. So if we focus on emanating a vibration of peace and harmony and love, then that's what the planet will feel also, because we are the same. We are one and the same. There is no separation between us and Mother Nature and us and everything that is. So we're being encouraged to remember our earth connection. We're being reminded to understand that we have the power to change anything in any moment. And what happened just now is that I heard heal the world, make it a better place. And I suppose for me, that is Michael Jackson's song reminding us that we are part of the healing of this planet. So as we heal ourselves, we heal the planet. And so, Mother Gaia is coming and saying, be mindful of the planet, come back to earth and stay grounded. And that makes a lot of sense, because we can be a bit detached. Some of us are running off into spirit. Some of us are running off into ourselves. We're in our house locked down, but we can still connect with the waters through prayer. We can still connect with the birds through seeing them flying in the sky. We can still feel the breeze. We can still feel the wind. So we're being encouraged to maintain our connection to that sentient consciousness of Mother Earth, right? We are one with her. We are not separate from her. So you can feel what's happening on the earth by just having a moment of stillness and feeling through your heart. Okay? Heart. Earth and heart are the same word, just with letters mixed around. So we are the earth, and the earth is in our heart. When we tune into our heart, we tune into the earth, we tune into the planet. All right. So the next card that's come out is the Shekinah. The Shekinah, which is our divine feminine light, that source light, that inner spark, that flame, the sacred self. So it's time for us to tap into the sacred self, the sacred aspect of who we are, that divine aspect of who we are, that powerful aspect of who we are that's inside of us. And it says, unleash your spirit and express your gifts. Dance to the sacred rhythm of life. We are all being encouraged in this time to birth our true authentic self. Who are we really? What did we come here to do? What is our passion? What is our purpose? Because this life journey is very short, and you've been fooled into the illusion that you have this long amount of time, and that you can make delays and have distractions. Really, no, you can't, because you're not here for that long. And so when you realize you're not here for that long, you choose to make every second count. You realize that you haven't got forever to manifest your plans, your visions, your intentions, or to make change in this world. Every day you're doing that. Every second you're doing that. So it's about being conscious of what it is that you're putting out into your reality and making the choice to live your best self. Like, who are you really? Not the you that you've been programmed to be, not the you that you were from your experiences, not the you that you are in your stories, that real you, that super powerful part of you that you always deny and don't let the world see. That's who you're being encouraged to be right now. And how are you going to get there? The last card that came out is Kali Ma. Kali Ma. You have to release the fear. You have to confront your shadows. You have to be willing to reclaim your power through your darkness. You have to be willing to stand before your ugly. Because we all want to look nice and love and light without understanding that darkness holds power. And we need both our light and our dark working in harmony, in order to be in a space of oneness, in order to be whole. And so the message right now from Source is that it's time to liberate our minds. The message right now from Source is to take control of your mind, body, and spirit. The message right now from Source is to realize how powerful you are. There are only a few of these so-called elites, these so-called blue bloods, these so-called, 1%ers. The mass. We are the mass power. We are the mass population. And so if each one of us can decide to say, you know what, nah, I'm not subscribing to that, I say no, then it's a no. It cannot be unless we agree. So it is time to gather some kind of self-mastery, some kind of self-resilience, some kind of power, some kind of confidence, so that you can acknowledge and reclaim your divine sovereignty and say no. In Africa, there is an uprising. We are realizing that there is more of us than there are of our oppressors. We have to come together, but we have to be aware of our weaknesses so that we can fortify them, and strengthen them. There is a global awakening, and this lockdown has pushed us into this global awakening. But we have to decide whether we're going to continue to sleep or we're going to stay awake. Okay? 1 second, let me get my water. As I said, I'm drinking frankincense water, which is very, very purifying for the body. mind and spirit, and very refreshing. So yes, that Kali Ma says to us that we have to face the fear. Major spiritual changes are unfolding. This is your chance to soar. And in order to soar, you have to unshackle your mind. You have to unshackle your being so that you can fly free and be liberated. Let your soul shine and, shine free. All right. So I wanted to share with you some of the notes that was coming through. Like, I wrote a whole load of notes yesterday when I was with Spirit, just praying. But I wanted to share some of it with you. Okay. And so the love, or the heart, because love resides in the heart, always does what is right. Okay. Worrying about consequences imprisons the heart and the soul. Do what is right and have no fear. It's not difficult, and you are protected. You are dictating your life, reality, and experience. There is no consequences when you do what you know to be right and true. And when I first received that, an image flashed up in my mind of Patrice Lumumba. An image flashed up in my mind of all of these other people who have done the right thing and have been persecuted for it. These are the kind of mental imprints that are usually projected into your consciousness through media, through education, to stop you from speaking the truth, to stop you from standing up against what's right, because you've seen that those who have stood up against what's right have been persecuted and brought down. So in your mind, your inner liberator is being put to sleep because of fear of consequences. Unchain your heart, your mind, and your feet will move. Wake up from the coma. You're greater than you think you are. Allow your true power to take hold. Open your eyes and see. Consciousness shift means to move beyond the limitations of the current state of reality and experience, which begins the journey for new experiences and living within a higher frequency band, a higher reality. Open your eyes and see the reality through new eyes. Expand your consciousness, your connection, and with your ancestors and your spiritual development, because that will help you to shift your perception from that which is limited to the five senses, and now allow you to see that which is beyond that which you can see. Because in reality, our the main bulk of creation is in the unseen. 95% of reality, we cannot see it. And so if you are living by that old, idiom that if you only believe what you see, then you will be very limited in your perception, in your reality. Okay? So it's time to release the fear. Building this connection with your spiritual, community, your ancestors, your guides, learning about, the laws of the universe. All of these things release the fear. You no longer fear that which is external because you've mastered that which is within. You learn to do what is right, to live from your heart. This is the Christ consciousness. We must not be silenced. You say and do what you know to be right. Trust and be guided. They're banking on us not doing what's right, being so afraid to stand up, to speak the truth, to wake people up. And we have to fight against that. Fear closes the heart and puts you into the prison of the five senses. The heart expands your awareness and consciousness. Love is truth. Love fears no consequence. Love does what is right. Love seeks to preserve life. The lockdown has brought a mass awakening in consciousness. People are aware that things are not as they seemed, and they must now seek truth. The whole world is waking up, and this is what will bring the change. Chaos brings order. Nature and Mama always knows best. We must now activate the force of truth and act. We don't have to have this, okay? We don't have to have it, and we have to say we ain't having it. That's what it means to be sovereign. We ain't having this. This is not divine. We are indestructible through love and Ma'at. And Ma'at is fairness and justice. This is just a short experience. This life is just a short experience. It's your duty to make an impact. It's your duty to speak your truth. It's your duty to manifest your vision. You have to make this life count. You came here with a purpose. You came here with a reason. You came here with an intention. And it's your duty to manifest that truth and live as that example. You're being encouraged to live from the flaming heart of truth that ignites inside of you. And when we experience injustice, sorry, it ignites the flame of truth within us, and we act for the betterment of others. I have had to hide myself away in order to replenish myself, to fortify my mind, body, and spirit for the journey that is about to happen and take place. And always when I've been speaking for too long, I start to cough. Because spirit is like, okay, come on now, you have to look after yourself. So, I'm going to read my poem before I go. If you have any questions, please put them down in the comments below. If you got anything to say to me, please put it down in the comments below, and I will check it out once I finish this poem. And yeah, we will go from there. So this poem came, and for me, poems, they come like nothing. It's literally just water. Bless you, Saloom. Yes, everything in divine time. Everything in divine time, but no love is lost. Mwah. Much, much, much love to you and the family. All right, so I just channel stuff. Even sometimes when I go to write a post on Facebook, it ends up becoming a poem. That's not because I've written that poem before. I've written that poem as I was about to make that post. That is just my nature. That's my gift. And so that's how God speaks to me and through me. So I'm going to read you some of what Spirit was guiding me yesterday. Spirit says, it's liberation time. Remove the shackles from your mind. Open your third eye and see the truth beyond the lies. You are a part of the great awakening. Activate the role that you are taking. The time is now. No hesitation. We're in the time of revelation, end of the old and rebirth of the new. The universal cycles continue, gifting we, humanity, with an opportunity to be free. It has been written from the beginning that this time would surely come. Victory is proven. There is no losing. If you follow the path, the game is won. Ignite the sacred fire within. Step in love and truth, and you will surely win. And as we unite, we win the fight through the sacred heart that knows what's right. Okay? Release the fear. Replace with faith. Free the mind and put knowledge in its place. And be the change the ancestors dream. Change your mind, change your reality. Your DNA and sacred blood is encoded with the codes of power and love. The voice of truth, it lives in you. It is your duty to be true. Collectively, we will be free when we embody sovereignty. The chosen ones and the ones who choose. For they know that there is no battle that they can lose. Release the masks, outstretch your arms, build with those who reflect you. For the time has come, O sleeping ones, to activate the true force of love and make a stand, hand in hand, and proclaim freedom in all forms, across all lands. Be wise in these times. Open up your heart and mind, for the revolution will not be televised. The revolution will be live. The time is now. Know that you have everything within you to achieve your wildest dreams. Just tune in to the liberation frequency of change that is blowing through humanity right now. And wake up, sleeping ones. It's liberation time. And so that is the guidance from the ancestors. Akka says, hallelujah. And wow, I do it every day without delay. The ancestors be talking, okay? The spirit is talking, and we are multidimensional beings. We are the tears of our ancestors. That's what I saw yesterday. Our ancestors had a formidable strength, a formidable spirit. We see all of the things that we go through, what they went through. We read the history books, but we never thought for 1 second that we would be willing to do the same thing, that we would be called to do the same thing, you know? We look on, but we never think that we would need to implore that same strength, that we would need to implore that same visionary qualities, that we would be called to stand up against injustice and stand on the front line and be willing to die for what is right. Are you ready to do that? I mean, we don't have to, but we do have to die. We have to kill the old self that no longer serves this new paradigm of how we are moving forward and where we're moving into. So I just wanted to share and pop my head back out, because I've had to deal with my own shadow, and we have to deal with our own shadows. We have to admit where we have come to the end of our ability to help ourselves and others. We have to admit our faults. We have to go into ourselves, and we have to hold ourselves accountable to our own story. Other people may hold up a lens to us. They may share with us their upsetness from things that we may have done or not done, but we have to check within our own self. We have to be willing to weed out our own shadows and acknowledge where we may have even been toxic in the lives of others. So I send out my love to each and every one of you. I understand that we are all going through this journey. I release the past aspect of myself to anyone who I may have caused harm to, brought toxicity into with my behaviors or actions through ignorance, knowingly or unknowingly. I seek forgiveness. I offer forgiveness to anyone who feels like they have wronged me in any way. I offer forgiveness, love and compassion, and I create a new slate. I choose to be the change. I choose to create a new reality and no longer allow myself to be held hostage by the past. We have all been in a space of sickness, and now it's time for us to wake up and do the healing that's necessary. And so I want to thank you all for being here. Tanika wanted a reading. Sis, if you can just send me a message. I know I haven't really been active that much online with my messages and responding to people. I had to take a step back, otherwise I would have dropped down dead. But please do send me a message and I will do what I can to support you. All right. You're saying you're not understanding what's happening. Let's have a chat, but send me a message. But to everybody else, I want to send you love of the highest vibration. Make this week count. Seek to vision what it is that you want to create. What life do you want to live after lockdown? Like, what do you want to be? How do you want to live? What needs to change? What do you need to do in order to be where you want to go? And seek help. Like, search out your tribe, search out your community, get guidance from those who are living the life that you know that you want to live, and start planning. Start building bridges, start working together, start healing, start being the change that you want to be, and tap into that liberation frequency. I've got a lot of things that are coming up that I'll be sharing this week. Don't forget, if you want to be a part of the Shadow Healing Gathering on Thursday, please do send me a message and I'll send you a link. It is donation based because everything is energy. But yeah, if you're interested in that, it will be a private. I won't be doing it on my Facebook anymore. I used to do my live gatherings, meditations and transmissions on Facebook, and that's enough now. It's time for those who want to do the work, and my energy is sacred. I'm no longer here for validation. I know who I am, so I want to utilize my energy to help those who are ready to do the work and are ready to transform. Also, my Patreon membership, I'm going to put that up because I will be doing a lot of work supporting people to untether the mind, untether the body, untether the spirit, and step into wellness and wisdom. And so the best way to get access to a lot of my services is through my Patreon, because you can pay a membership fee and I will invite you to whatever it is that I'm doing. If not, then it's up to you, whatever it is that you want to do. I've also got the School of Awakening membership, where we will be going through the chakras, liberation through the chakras. We're going to start right at the beginning of this awakening journey to prepare you all with the tools to ascend, right? And then we're also doing Awakening Her, which is about awakening the divine feminine consciousness within our women. My passion right now is to work with women and children and people from the melanated communities, because I feel like Equality is not enough. We need equanimity. And equanimity is about providing what is needed so that everyone can be on a balanced playing field. If you have 4 tires in a car and one of them is flat, you don't give everybody else the same air to fill up those tires. No, you give that tire the air that it needs so that it can work on a functioning level. And that's what I'm very much about. So I'm passionate about helping our people to release our mindset and to prepare for success. I am passionate about helping children, because children are the foundation. They are the next generation. Over this lockdown period, I have done counselling and mentoring with 2 children, 2 young people who have been finding it difficult to deal with things like voices in their head, understanding themselves and confidence, things like that. So I've realized more and more that my purpose is to work with children and young people as they transition so that they can maintain their spiritual connection and authority and power. And also women, because women are at the moment the householders. You know, they are the ones that are transforming the fish that has been caught into the food. And so we need empowerment on all levels. We are the nation builders. But I really believe in harmony. I believe in oneness. And I believe that this is the time of unity. And it's going to take us all coming together and working together to bring the change that we need to see. We have to be willing to stand for something, or we will fall for everything. So, sending you much love of the highest vibration. If you require any of my services, please do send me a message. If you want me to have you in my prayers, I'm going to have you in my prayers anyway. But I need to go and do my prayers for the day and just spend some time with my spirit. But I was guided by the source to come on today and just check in with you all. And I want to send you all love of the highest vibration. I want to send you strength and power and resilience. I want to send you love and compassion and understanding. I hold sacred space for you as you transform into the greatness that you're here to become. Do not allow the illusion of the Tell Live vision to dictate your reality. There is a great change happening. There is an opportunity for liberation taking place, and it's up to you to decide where you fit in to that. Thank you, Ayana, for your love. I saw those hearts, and I love hearts and interaction. So thank you very much. And I just wish you all a blessed and abundant day. It is one of my daughter's birthdays today, Isis, and she is 13, moving into her divine feminine space. And so we're going to be celebrating with her today. So whatever you're doing today, make sure that it's enriching to your mind, body and soul. And just make one choice today. And if that's one choice that you make, live from your heart, live from your truth, and honor your soul. All right? Sending you much love of the highest vibration. Have a great week. Have a great day. Mwah! And enjoy your life. You only have one life to live, so you might as well make it count. Thank you, Ayana. I will definitely send on your birthday wishes and greetings to her. I love you all, human family. I love you all. This is our time. You cannot yet see the greatness that is unfolding, but it's here. You know, we have to be the change that we wish to see. We have to go beyond the words and now into inspired action. But know that every one of us has exactly what we need inside of us to be the change that we came to be. So sing your song, make a joyful noise, and etch, your reality into this world. You came from greatness. Time to be great. Mwah! Much love. Have a great day.